Hey, I'm back for our 14th episode of this little vlog series we're doing on all things honey, beekeeping, and really how we're doing business as Patagonia Bee Products. And I'm Jacob Perry, the CEO and founder. So first I want to give a little explanation of why we had a little hiatus. Haven't done one of these videos for I think 2 or 3 weeks, and I was actually traveling with the honey on a honey tour. Went to quite a few states, including Missouri, Michigan, New York, DC, North Carolina, doing honey tastings, samplings in stores that are already carrying our honey to really engage with those shoppers there and the patrons and give them a taste of totally new honey. Went really well. And we actually picked up, I went to visit new stores as well, and I picked up 6 new stores on this trip, so we're just continuing to find new places that love this honey, that appreciate what we're doing, appreciate the quality and the uniqueness of the product. So that's very encouraging and is a good reason to keep traveling more and finding more places that want the honey. And I actually got back on a Thursday night at 2 a.m., and the next morning, Friday, went to pitch in a regional Shark Tank contest that a couple of really awesome organizations here locally in Northwest Arkansas put on. And we actually won. My business partner and I, Ross Ferguson, we pitched, we showed our passion, we talked about our honey and our business model and how we're getting this honey out. And they loved it. We won, and that's really encouraging. It's very humbling. We're very appreciative of the opportunity. And we got a little money out of it so that we can continue to travel and get this honey out into the hands of more people. So that's a little update, very exciting. And now I want to talk about the subject of today's episode, which is going to go in a little bit. I want to take a deeper dive into what hive to hand means. This is something I talked about on a previous episode, and just as a reminder, we are dubbing hive to hand as this concept representing the fact that every jar of our honey will come from one beekeeper, one harvest, and then to ultimately to you, the ultimate consumer. There's not mixing and matching. There's not homogenizing in between. There aren't a bunch of middlemen, middle companies. You are getting the honey that is from one harvest and really preserves those characteristics from that time and place. And I'm going to talk about why that's important next as well. This concept of hive to hand really stems from other terms and in really kind of a similar vein of the concept of single origin or single source. With chocolate, it's bean to bar. With a lot of our produce, it's farm to table, right? And so why is this important, or why does this even matter, right? And to talk about that, I want to discuss the term terroir, which is many of you might be familiar with. It's a French term that means the soil or the earth. This is used with wine, for example, or even with cheese and with coffee more. And this is referring to literally the soil composition of the place where this product is grown or produced. So coffee, as many of us know in the United States now that we're becoming more of a coffee culture, and around the world they've known this, depending on where the coffee beans are grown because of the different conditions, the climate conditions and the soil conditions, the coffee will taste different. And those are just natural characteristics, right? Same with wine. In fact, that's why we have all these different wines, different grapes, but also soil conditions, and that's why champagne can only be called champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Or Roquefort cheese, right? This is actually in the 15th century, the French Parliament passed regulations that said that only cheese that was basically aged in this specific cave, these natural caves in France, could be called Roquefort cheese. So this is the concept that where the product comes from is important because those conditions will impart particular tastes and qualities on the product. And this is not exclusive of honey, right? It's not exclusive of these other products, right? It includes honey. And the reason it does that is because bees are going to flowers, picking up nectar to make honey. That's what bees will make honey from. And the nectar is a product of the plant, and the plant is getting is going through photosynthesis, using energy from the sun, getting water from the water systems, getting nutrients from the soil, and ultimately whatever is available to the plant is going to be what the honey is composed of. So you can actually have the same monofloral honey. So let's just say you have alfalfa honey as the floral source from 2 different places in the world, and it will actually have different unique qualities, right? It will be similar, but have distinguishable, unique qualities because of the terroir, if you will, the soil conditions. The minerals, if they're different soils, they have different minerals in them. It might be different soil types, etc. And this is true with honey. And that's why, though we have currently four, as Patagonia Bee Products, we have four unique honey varieties from different floral sources. The bees go to different flowers. Three of them being around 90% monofloral, very high. One of them being a bifloral, two flowers. And though they are distinguishable from each other, and we do this with lots of taste, you can look at them and tell they're different. You can feel them and feel the texture is different, and then tasting them, they're very different. Even yet, you can notice little undertones that are similar in each. For example, we might hear that several of our honeys have undertones of mint. And not everybody picks it up. Some people do. And that can be due to the terroir, because they're all coming from the same soil in the Patagonian forest. Different flowers will lead to a lot of those differences, but then the same soil can lead to those similarities, right? Or undertones of honeysuckle, which we will hear about several of our honeys, even though really the rainforest honey has the strongest overtones of honeysuckle. And so this is why this concept of hive-to-hand honey, we believe, is very, very important. That we should move away from having these homogenized honeys that all taste the same. You go to the store and most of the honey is going to be this golden syrupy stuff because it's actually from many different places just mixed together to be toned down, to be made mild, and to be made this one kind of homogeneous product is what it is. Whereas honey in its natural form is going to be completely unique to the harvest. And if it's kept that way, you end up having all these really nice, unique, quite literally one-of-a-kind honeys and honey varieties based on the flowers and the place, the location of it. And that's what we're maintaining in our honeys, and we think that's very important to the quality of it, to the purity of it, and ultimately it creates a better experience for the consumer who gets to really taste this is the 2017 climatic conditions in Patagonia when I'm tasting this. There was lots of rain this year, and this is why this flavor comes out. Or it was a dry year, or whatever. And those things do absolutely affect the harvest of the honey and the taste of the honey. And so that's why some years you will see certain honey varieties are rarer than others. So there's your little talk on hive to hand and what that really means for us and some of the finer details of it. And I hope you continue to appreciate specialty honey varieties and try all of our honey varieties, as we will keep bringing new ones up when we can get those harvested, because again, it depends on the conditions of the climate in Patagonia. So we'll catch you guys later on and look forward to the next episode. Bye-bye.